Hello, and welcome to The Wave from Ocean Reef, a podcast about the flow of life today and how you and I might ride with or swim against it. I'm Dan Meyer, Chaplain-in-Residence at the beautiful Ocean Reef community in Key Largo, Florida. For many years, I led one of the largest churches in America, hosted an Emmy Award-winning television news magazine, and moderated a forum for business and professional leaders. Along the way, I had the chance to work on a farm, in a maximum security prison, on an offshore oil rig, and in the world corporate headquarters of IBM. These experiences, plus a political science education at Yale and degrees in theology from Princeton and Fuller seminaries, have made me fascinated with people and with the various predicaments and possibilities that shape the flow of human life. I hope you'll find this podcast sparks your own thinking about that. So here's the wave for today. When was the last time you felt genuine awe? By awe, I mean a feeling of wonder or mystery, a palpable and maybe even thrilling sense that you were encountering something or someone transcendent. Can you think of moments like that in your life? In recent decades, an increasing number of physical and social scientists have become fascinated with understanding phenomena associated with what might be termed the spiritual realm. And a preeminent example are experiences of awe. Dr. Keltner, a Stanford-educated psychologist and founder of the Greater Good Science Center at the University of California, Berkeley, is one of those researchers. His study of the way that emotions are encoded and experienced in the human body has made him an extremely influential voice in fields that stretch from neuroscience to filmmaking. In fact, Keltner is one of the consultants behind Disney Pixar's groundbreaking movie Inside Out, and the development of the emojis that you use on your phone. For the past 2 decades, Keltner has delved deeply into the human experience we call awe. He's conducted more than 2,600 interviews with people from 20 countries and cultures, trying to understand what produces these awesome moments in our lives. After all this time, Dr. believes he has some handles on this wonder. The most common experience of awe that people have, he says, comes from seeing other people face great adversity with exceptional courage, kindness, and overcoming strength. People Keltner interviewed described getting choked up and tearful at the sheer moral beauty in other people's lives. They had beheld a level of goodness in people that lifted their spirits too. Is there someone in your life that's an example of this, that you might lift up in your heart today with greater thankfulness? The second awe-inspiring phenomenon Keltner termed collective effervescence. People recounted feeling thrilled by sudden, deep perceptions of their unity with other human beings. Maybe they were at a sporting event or a concert or walking with a crowd to work or worshiping in a sanctuary. But suddenly they felt, wow, I'm part of this superorganism. I'm caught up in something so much bigger than me. It probably won't surprise you that the third source of awe came from encounters with nature. Keltner has documented how sound waves coming off of moving bodies of water calm us down by activating the vagus nerve that stretches from the top of our spinal cord through our heart and lungs and down into our gut. He's shown how the smell of trees stimulates the brain and our immune systems. All across the world, people describe feeling awed by sunsets, forests, deserts, and oceans. It may explain why 41% of Americans say they find God or the divine so often, maybe even most often, in nature. Keltner and his colleagues claim that other universal sources of wonder are things like listening to music or observing rich visual design. For many people, it's engaging in spiritual practices or contemplating, huge, awesome, hairy, audacious ideas like infinity or God. And for others, it's reflecting on the cycle of life and death and their part in it. Well, when you put all of this together, it's not hard to understand why religious communities have often been and continue to be a global phenomenon. Places like the Ocean Reef Chapel and Fellowship Center, where I work, are environments that bring together all 8 of these wonders of everyday life. Keltner conclusively found that such experiences of awe lowered inflammation levels, helped to alleviate pain and anxiety, and triggered the release of oxytocin, which we often refer to as the love or the soul hormone that elevates trust and bonding. Even where we may not think of ourselves as particularly religious or spiritual at all, feeling awe brings us into sync with others. It deepens our enjoyment of life. It demonstrably boosts our immunity and other aspects of physical health. In other words, if you want an even richer, better life, look to fill it with more wonder. In light of all this, I hope you will understand that it's not a Halloween trick that I am wishing all of you, my friends, an awful October. That's today's Wave from Ocean Reef. If you know of others who might appreciate this sort of content, I hope you'll pass it along or encourage them to find me on Apple Podcasts. Until next time, I'm Dan Meyer, hoping that the flow of life is good for you.